Hi traders, good morning. Welcome to a new video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris from Elite Currency. And before we take a look at the charts, take a look at ECS Live with live setups, for instance, from Nenet, who shares his own views and setups with entries and take profits that he is trading with, for instance, the CAMAC, the MTF system. You can find out more information at elitecurrency.com/ECS Live trading. All right, first of all, euro dollar is looking bearish to me, but there could be one more spike up because if we put a fib from here to here, as you can see, then I think that this could be a bigger wave B. Whether this wave B is finished or not, that's the main question. If it does make a spike up, I think it could hit, for instance, any of these fibs, to be honest, and turn back down for the start of a wave C and the end of a wave B. So looking at bearish engulfing twins or any kind of candlestick pattern on the hourly 4-hour chart in between 113.38 and 113.80, I think personally makes sense. Unless there's a bunch of bullish candles here breaking right through all of that, I personally expect a bearish bounce and continuation, unless we get that bullish momentum. At this moment, it could really break to both directions. I think it did kind of push below the 21 EMA, but it was an early morning break. Sometimes those are false breakouts. Moving averages are aligned to the downside. So if we don't get that push up, then we might get a continuation right away to the downside, I think, because we need to break below this particular trend line probably and around 113.04-ish for a break to the downside. So it's kind of just making a consolidation pattern, basically corrective pattern, and we need to break. We need to see what kind of break is sustainable at the beginning of today's daily candle. All right, today's trading. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, and you can see that the moving averages are on top of each other. That is indicating indecision and consolidation. So for the moment, it's about 50-50 whether we get the break here or the break like this. What I do know is that if it does break, I think it's going to slam into resistance and move lower. And if it does break to the downside, then I think it's going to slam into support and move higher. So all in all, I don't think it's going anywhere in the near future. If it does break, it's going to bump into support or resistance very quickly and revert, in my view, to the opposite direction. So also looking for bullish candlestick patterns in the support zone makes sense. We could put a fib from here to here, basically, and look for a bounce at around 112.34, the 78.6 fib. In that case, it looks like an ABC pattern has been completed, either like this, or if it does make the pop up, then like this. And then I would expect a bigger uptrend to continue. So the 78.6 fib, in my view, is the most interesting area to look for trades because it has the biggest potential. Because that's where I think the wave B could end and the wave C could start. And the wave C, well, it has a lot of space, at least to 115. So there's a lot of potential profit, I think, to the upside. And that is, of course, invalidated if price were to break below this bottom. So this particular bounce at the 78 or even the 88.6 fib, that is, I think, the best trade to look for. As long as it stays above this bottom, that ABC zigzag or 1, 2, 3 pattern, I think is going to occur eventually. All right, pound dollar has seen a lot of Brexit news and remains vulnerable for that Brexit news this week again and next week and probably for the near future. So I'm always adding that. But for the moment, pound dollar, technically speaking, looks bullish to me. It has bounced off this support trend line. And I think that this could be looking as a final wave 5. If you look at the daily chart, we also see the price bounce actually at this trend line. Now, there is a little bit of a rising wedge chart pattern, which is a reversal actually indication. However, price is still bullishly aligned. So we might get a little bit of a pullback back into the support zone. I wouldn't be surprised then to see the bounce and then the break for one more higher high and aim for maybe like 134, for instance, which is a 50 fib off of a higher time frame, which could be basically the bouncing spot for a move down again, and perhaps the start of a downtrend at even 134 or 135, for instance, or in between as well. That could be the end of this uptrend, the end of the rising wedge, and the start of the downtrend. So for the moment, I think that this could be ABC. We're looking for ABC here. A little bit of a downside is possible. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. Kind of making a correction here. So moving averages are on top of each other. So it's possible that price breaks below this support channel like this and makes a little bit of a dip, but I don't think it will go too far before it bounces back up again and hits support and then breaks above the resistance line of the 4-hour chart like this. There we go. And so if it does make a dip down, I think it's going to bump into support, move up again, challenge the resistance and the 21 EMA zone again, then break above that for that bullish breakout that we're looking for. This remains valid as long as price stays above this bottom, or at least this bottom, the very minimum, at around 130. This is 130.80. All right, so 130, let's say, is the main invalidation zone. If it stays above this, it stays, in my view, bullish, and this could be wave A, B, and up we go for a wave C. So let's see if that happens. We could get immediate break as well, by the way. All right, and in that case, we had a very shallow correction. For me to see an immediate break, I would probably have to see a good 4-hour candle close above 132.50, and yeah, basically also show that the close is near the high, and a good 4-hour candle that could at least, you know, partly be above this resistance trend line. For instance, if this is a low at 131.75, then if it's a candle around 132.75, that's a pretty big candle breaking above the resistance trend line. That does look like a good breakout candle. In that case, maybe a small flag on the lower time frame and look for a continuation higher towards that 134 target. All right, that's it for now. More, of course, analysis on the euro dollar and pound dollar on Thursday and then the weekend again. But if you want more updates, once again, ECS Live is the way to go. Or, of course, you can try out one of our systems if you like. ECS CAMACD, ECS SWAT are options as well. Plus, we have a lot of free, tons of free stuff on our website, elitecurrency.com. In any case, wish you good trading. Talk to you soon. Cheers.